This shit crazy, man. I had another dream the other day, man. Niggas try to kill me again. You know what I mean? People try to take me away from my family, you know what I mean? Upstate hustle. Yeah. I had another dream again. Niggas try to kill me again. Again. I had another dream the other day. People try to take me away. They try to take me away. Had another dream again. Niggas try to kill me again. Had another dream the other day. People wanna slide my way. They try to slide my way. Had another dream again. Had another dream again. I had a dream again. I think about it every day. Had another dream again. I had a dream again. Had another dream again. Niggas try to kill me again. They try to kill me again. Had another dream the other day. Niggas try to take me away. I used to hustle out the house, now I trap with the whip. Had to keep my gun tight, cause these niggas is bitch. The nigga mad cause I fucked this shorty. But the nigga kinda mad cause he owe me a short. I seen niggas, they was lurking in the back of the back. I seen them right in the back. It was crazy, I ain't had my strap. And I know they had them a strap. We had to go right after the show. I seen them niggas, they was following me quick. They was right on my shit. Niggas still thought dumping it quick. Niggas sent 5 shots. Ain't hit nothing. Them niggas frontin'. Then I start dumping it back. Then I split. I ain't seen that nigga since. One day I'm on the block, I'm chillin', smoking my weed. These niggas ride past grillin'. Now I see the light stop, seen the car pulled over. And now I see the passenger door open, niggas linked over. I knew it was lit. Now you try to leave me dead on my dick. I gotta go home and grab my shit. Now I'm riding, now I'm thinking all night about that night we made that hit. Damn. We took that money and we took that brick. Man, I think I got set up and shit. My man set me up. Story is crazy, right? There's a lot of shit y'all don't know about me, man. A lot of shit I keep on the low. I don't put on Facebook and none of that shit, you feel me? I'm really in these streets, man. Tone Gambino, the ski mask way. No face, no case. Let's go. I had another dream again. Niggas try to kill me again. Again. I had another dream the other day. People try to take me away. They try to take me away. Had another dream again. Niggas try to kill me again. Had another dream the other day. People wanna slide my way. They try to slide my way. Had another dream again. Had another dream again. I had a dream again. I think about it every day. Had another dream again. I had a dream again. Had another dream again. Niggas try to kill me again. They try to kill me again. Had another dream the other day. Niggas try to take me away. They try to take me away.
Mob, tag em. Mud money mob, start tagging these niggas, man. Whole lot of mob shit. Motherfucking president, nigga. Y'all better listen to me. Let's get it.
Cream man, 30 on me, big bag, dirty on me. Yo ho, working on me. My niggas murking, homie. Hit his ass, laser tag, 50 round drum. 100 round drum. Mop him up when the time comes. Mask on, mask off. Big dog, big boss. You broke your loss. Like a tiger nigga, yeah ho. Cream man doing numbers. I got hitters, I got runners. We gon' tag them by them commas. Yeah.
30 days straight, I've been trapping. Look what happened. Bitch, I'm acting. I know about your baby mama, she get naked. Gotta tell them to chill, younger with me, why that action? I be in the dungeon with dragons, hot boy shit, demons and ashes, lady baby shit, dope boy magic. You smell the gas through the plastic, smoking on runs, I'm trying to stuff every gram in the blunt, asking, this ain't what you want, that laser gon' make a bitch nigga freeze. He hit my line on a Wednesday, setting the play up for Thursday. He called me back on a Friday, asking why I didn't serve him. Boy, that little money ain't worth it. Me and you was the fee and the purpose. The president meaning I'm the plug. You lucky to see me in person, bitch. Hey, had to put the campaign on furlough. You know they be working shit. Ain't come for no problem, but shut up your partner. My youngin' be murking shit. Yeah, I taught him how to go get a bag, flip the shit and make it flip again. Talk Talking about she can do better than me. I tell that bitch, handle your business then. I'm a business and a businessman. I'm the reason why you say your baby daddy got a brand new dental plan. I done knocked out the middleman. Mud money, what I represent. Cause we got it out the mud, nigga. 10, 17 mile with us. Face shaking, I don't fuck with you. 30 days I was quarantined in the trap setting up plays, nigga. Glizzy louder than some barber clippers. I ain't come to shoot the fade with you. Fujiana got smoke, I'ma make a call, send a couple grave diggers. He got WAP on the line telling me to chill, but they shouldn't have played with us. On God. 30 days straight, I've been trapping. Look what happened. Bitch, I'm at it. I know about your baby mama, she get nasty. Gotta tell them to chill. The younger with me, buy that action. I be in the dungeon with dragons, hot boy shit, demons and ashes, lady baby shit, dope boy magic. You smell the gas through the plastic, smoking on runs. I'm trying to stuff every gram in the blood. Asking, they say what you want, that laser gon' make a bitch nigga freeze.
I grew up thuggin', muggin' on the block, pussy with them same niggas. Wreck round women every day, he got a big pistol, wig splitter. Pussy nigga on the net said he a real killer. Nigga, bitch, seen his ass in person, nigga did the real thriller. Pussy nigga, I been round there, well, by myself, serving with a Drake. 10, 17, ice on me, try to take a shoot you in the face. Yeah, get him gone, bags in, bags out, chop. Julia hit my phone, say he got a country boy, I need to come tag. Yeah, I hit the road, AMG, S550, hit the gas. Pull up, so the nigga grab, yeah, hit the gas, he was mad. But I don't really give a fuck, I'm with the mob and pussy nigga on the boss. Ho, one call, I call cream, he gon' come through and knock a nigga off. Jill told me don't do it, but I gotta get to a nigga raw. Ho, all the mud moving slow, yeah, real slow, nigga like a slow bitch. Pussy nigga try to diss me, can't diss me, boy, it's soft. Wop said don't play with nobody, fool, you better kill them all. Ho,
30 days straight, I've been trapping. Look what happened. Bitch, I'm at it. I know about your baby mama, she get nasty. Gotta tell them to chill. The younger with me, buy that action. I be in the dungeon with dragons, hot boy shit, demons and ashes, lady baby shit, dope boy magic. You smell the gas through the plastic, smoking on runs. I'm trying to stuff every gram in the blood. Asking, they say what you want, that laser gon' make a bitch nigga freeze. Tag it.
One just tell me, yeah. One just tell me. Okay. Yeah. One just tell me, yeah. Yeah. One just tell me. You put the pressure on me. I see you're afraid to love me now. With all the things you believed, it's made your past so ugly now. We can't be friends. Give me your hand. Your love again. Just show me how. This doesn't end. I'm here again. You want forever. Hold me. We go through the motions till the energy's up. I give you all my time till I'm not giving enough. If I could take my heart away like all my feelings was up, it would be easy, but I really can't be giving this up. We go through the motions till the energy's up. I give you all my time till I'm not giving enough. If I could take my heart away like all my feelings was up, it's never easy when it's love, so I'm not giving you up. It's the light. Me see you up here, me feel you push away from me. Teach me how to love. You are just right, you and me alike. And girl, you got to stay from me, yeah. Baby, if you want more love, one just tell me, yeah. Me never again say it's too much. Me too ready, yeah. Baby, if you want more love, me don't hold back now, yeah. Me never again say it's too much. Don't hold back now, yeah. Baby, if you want more love, don't hold back now, yeah. Don't hold back. You want to feel so lucky, head over heels above me now. I understand you're lovely. Give me a chance, don't cut me out. Take me a dance, give me your hand, make me a man, love me down. You wanna win, you've never had. Soon as I'm in, I'll tell you. We go through the motions till the energy's up. I give you all my time till I'm not giving enough. If I could take my heart away like all my feelings was up, it would be easy, but I really can't be giving this up. We go through the motions till the energy's up. I give you all my time till I'm not giving enough. If I could take my heart away like all my feelings was up, it's never easy when it's love, so I'm not giving you up. But still like, me see you up here, me feel you push away from me. Teach me how to love. You are just right, you and me heartbreak. Mr. Sunday morning, make it easy for your hard day. Gotta learn to feel again. We gon' do it our way. Put myself all over you, wrap you up in Star K. Want more, you ain't gotta come for. It's already done for. Even dropping encore, you've been on a hunt for somebody to make you feel differently. 2020 vision is a different me. Yeah, yeah. Me see your fear, me feel you push away from me. Teach me how to love. You are just right, you and me alike. And girl, you got to stay around me, yeah. Baby, if you want more love, one just tell me, yeah. We never again say it's too much. Don't hold back.
Welcome to Let's Chat. Y'all know Let's Chat Live. My glasses, y'all. You got the little glare up in there. Let's Chat Live. We've been gone for a minute. But now we are back. Oh, geez. Y'all see, Lissha is tired. I am. I'm gonna put these back on.
You're working hard, girl. You're working hard.
You're right. You ain't never lied about that. But yes, we are back. We are excited. We got some great things coming for, especially for Let's Chat Live and Let's Chat just in general. I got something in the mail. So I got to shout her out. First, I want to shout out to Blue Marley. Shout out to Ugly Money. Shout out to Cream Man. Shout out to Superstar K. We appreciate y'all. Y'all are always sending us money. Money. You're always sending us music. Right, we'll take that too. But we appreciate you guys. Shout out to Tasha Goins. Her book Upstate Hustle is available. She's gotten it into libraries, so we're so proud of her. Mm-hmm. And Anitra Thimes, she sent me her book. She has a series of affirmations, and not just for women. She has them for young girls. She has them for young boys. And she has them for husbands and men as well.
Oh.
I don't know, you can't really see that. So shout out to her. She also has these affirmation on the go keychains that come with it as well. I thought that was really different. We always talk about authors thinking outside of the box. And that's important, especially if you have affirmations. Sometimes they don't have their book handy. Sometimes, you know, they're on the go. And so this is something that could be kept in a car. This is something that could be kept on your keychain, in your purse. And I think that was a great, great twist to branding herself. But I appreciate you. Thank you for sending me these affirmation books. We appreciate you guys.
Awesome. It's so good to be back. You know, you almost caught me jamming. I love that song.
Superstar K.
You put it on, I'm like, woo, let's go. We back.
He got some new music that I have to add. I haven't added it yet. See, music-wise, we have a hard time, especially when we live. And now we're living from Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. So Twitter is new. Welcome, Twitter, to the chat room.
Welcome.
But Facebook always blocks some of our music because we do get music from artists, and you know, labels, they protect the copyright. So sometimes it's hard for us to play music, but these few songs we haven't had any trouble with. Some of the music we do have trouble with. That's why we have to keep it on the radio, because we can kind of play whatever we want there. But go ahead and open us up, T.
Absolutely. Welcome once again to Let's Chat Live. It's been a minute, like Lissha said. For those that may be joining us for the very first time, welcome, especially you Twitter users. But just to give you guys a synopsis on what Lissha and I do here on Let's Chat, you know, we started off on the radio. That is like our bread and butter right there. That's our grassroots. You know, we started off just loving the word, but we have evolved into so much more. And it's a testament to the music that we were just listening to. We now celebrate all the arts, not just literature. So we thank you once again for joining us and putting us on the map into where we are today, because if it wasn't for you guys, Lissha and I would be sitting here talking to ourselves. You know, we have no problem doing that either.
Right. Right.
But we love sharing our guests and you guys along on this journey. So thank you once again. I'm looking forward to our great guest this evening. See what he got going on, and let's get it popping, Leash.
Absolutely. One more shout out. Butterfly and Balloons release, Ladera Karn has taken a life experience of domestic violence and really turned it into a 21-year survivorship and ministry. And she is doing a butterfly and balloon release in honor of domestic violence and those that have lost their lives to it. It's going to be in Houston. Keep your eye on my page. I'm going to be posting her flyer for the event. So if you're in the Houston area and you want to attend, you should. It's a crisis center, fabulous ministry. We are so proud of you, aka Dr. Purpose.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna be posting that. I want to make sure I shouted that out. She asked me to do a thank you kind of congratulatory video, which is why I'm Lissha. So I'm doing that after the show, but I want to shout her out real quick.
Absolutely. And also, if you want to get to know a little bit more about what she does, just check out over on our Blog Talk. We had a great interview with her. It was so informative and it's so well needed, especially in today's time and actually at any time. So make sure you check out our archives over on blogtalk.com.
Absolutely. And if you would like to be a guest on Let's Chat, as you see scrolling across the bottom, send your request to the chatradioshow@gmail.com. We have our first fabulous guest in here on today. We've had him on previously. Make sure you go and check out our replays in iTunes, iHeartRadio, and after today it'll be on Spotify, but make sure y'all go and check it out. Y'all, I'm calling him a seasoned author, and we love seasoned authors here on Let's Chat, only because, as an author, you're forever branding. You're always branding yourself. It's always somebody that needs to know you, your pen, and that you're meeting people every day. But when it's a seasoned author, not only are they forever branding, they're forever teaching. And they are actually constantly teaching, even when they don't know it, because we get to hear their experience, how they experienced the literary world, how they came into it, how they overcame things. And that shows you how to move around. And y'all know we love to have seasoned authors because we love to show authors examples of how to move around in the literary world. And this is one of our literary jewels. We're going to call him a jewel because he was a jewel in the rough. I was like, get out of here. Y'all. So we're going to tell y'all, get y'all pens and papers together because you're going to get some literary information that might help you. You might get some jewels, nuggets, all that good stuff. So we got the fabulous Toni Lindsay. Welcome.
Hey. Wow, what a great introduction, man. That was off the chain. I hope I live up to it,
You are so awesome. Toni and I so appreciate you. You came on the show and you gave a plethora of just knowledge and jewels that would help authors just coming into the industry. For those that don't know who you are, they're not familiar with your fabulous thriller chiller pen, tell everybody just a little bit about your literary journey.
Oh, okay. All right. I've been writing for 20 plus years. So I guess that does make me seasoned.
Yes, it does.
Lowry's seasoning salt, maybe a little celery salt on there. So, paprika. I'm sorry, 20 years, 20 plus years. First book was a murder mystery. The first book published was a murder mystery. The first book I wrote was a speculative fiction piece. Prayer of Prey. It was retitled Street Possessions, which is actually on Audible now, so you can get it, read it, and listen to it. I've got One Dead Preacher, One Dead Lawyer, One Dead Doctor, currently writing One Dead Activist. So I have a murder mystery theory series. I write urban as well. I've got Chasing It, More Boy Than Girl, and Street Possession is actually urban as well. Also a psychological thriller. I've written thrillers, The Killing Breeze, a little drama, urban affair, uh, romantic drama, urban affair. I've written speculative and young adult. I've done a lot of young adult. Uh, Chestnut Checkers is my latest. Also did Almost Grown and Fat from Papa's Head are my young adult pieces. Um, I have my street lit is a little bit different because it keeps people guessing. I've done Chasing It, which was a transgender, and then I did More Boy Than Girl, which is also has a transgender protagonist. So that's different for street lit. And my thrillers are different because they have racial tones. There's always a race message in all of my thrillers. I've also done short story collections, um, Pieces of the Whole, Acorns in a Skillet, and Fat from Papa's Head is a young adult collection of short stories. And I'm currently, I've got an erotic one that Emotional Drippings. It's erotica, but it's erotica with a message. uh, I'm also doing. I've got one that I've been doing pieces at a time called Straight Twisted. It's probably taking me the longest to write because it is so graphic. So it's so I can't even act like I know when that's going to be released because I don't. So those are some of the books I've written.
Absolutely. Now, just listening to the list and the plethora of books you have written over your career as an author and a writer, but you got Melanie Knight. I mean, you went the vampire route. What made you do that? And tell us a little bit about that storyline without giving it away.
Okay. It is. I don't want to call it a vampire book because it's also a spy novel, right? It's espionage. It is. It comments on mental health because when you meet her, she's depressed. Well, she's depressed from an event, so it's not like she's suffering from the typical depression. Her husband, her groom, because they didn't get married, was gunned down when you meet. So she's a handful of pills, about to commit suicide, and she's taken by a vampire before she can kill herself. This vampire only feeds on those who are on the verge of self-destruction. So that in itself is a different twist to a vampire novel, right?
Yeah. Because the intention is to save her.
Exactly.
Okay.
So the novel is written in flashbacks. So you see her developing as a vampire, but you also see her the current situation. She's a spy working on an active assignment. She's a consultant for the CIA, so she's actively working. Why you flash back and you see her develop. The assignment turns into where they are actually trying to remove vampires from the CIA ranks.
Wow!
Yeah, vampires are working for the agency. That's different. Okay, but they are embedded as consultants. So, but now they're not working like the CIA. They don't follow orders like the CIA wants them to. So there's a renegade nature to them, and that is she uncovers a plot to try to kill them. And so they're trying to bring in these vampire slayers, if you will, but they are not enough to get it done. So that's the story. I don't want to always, but I hope it intrigues you enough to get you guys.
But it is different. It's so different. Now, we always talk about a goal moment. We talked a little bit about it on the show. But a goal moment is when thought and execution come together. A lot of times when we're talking to ourselves, when we are discussing things inside of our heads, thinking about our visions, we talk ourselves out of a lot of things. We tell ourselves it's not time. I can't do this. Nobody's going to want to read it. Nobody's going to want to see it. So we tend not to move. And that means that we practice lack a lot. So what was your goal moment when you decided to jump into the literary industry?
Oh, you mean as a writer?
Writing as a writer, period.
There were a couple of things that fed into the decision. When I was younger, I had the pleasure of meeting Gwendolyn Brooks. She came up to our school and would hang out with us while we were eating lunch, um, and so it was always in the back of my mind that there wasn't anything cooler than being a writer, right? And then growing up in Chicago, a good literary town, Hakeem Madhubuti, Sterling Plump, Carolyn Rogers. So there were always writers or people around, and they were in our community. I lived in Wood. They were admired, right? They came to our school, they talked to us, so they were people we had admiration for. So that was always in the mind. And then I was always told I could write well. I never wrote anything that people didn't like. So that kind of, I was like, it was in my mind. I went to school. I did not major in English, and if there's anything I probably should have, but I majored in psychology. But I always thought that I could, if things don't work out, I can always write. But things worked out sort of, but writing just took over. That's just all I wanted to do. I did go as a graduate and get an MA in English and also an MFA. So I do have writing credentials education-wise. So the go moment was I was laid off and I had the time to actually finish a book. I had finished one, Street Possessions or Prayer of Prey, but I sent it out handwritten, right? And published it. They're like, dude, invest in a word processor, And I actually met the publisher. His name was Bennett Johnson years later at an event. And he was like, you sent me that handwritten. I was like, I did. He remembered that. And that was really cool. But I was laid off and I was like, I want to get published. And I was looking for a literary agent in the phone book. It was right above liquor stores, right? And, something Brown. I don't remember her name, but she told me to write a mystery. She was like, your African-American male right now, mysteries are being, sought. So I wrote One Dead Preacher and I sent it out, and people, it was generating a buzz that I didn't know, right? Because people were getting it, reading it. Yeah, it was typed for one thing, reading it. And they were saying, the guy who approached me, Kwame Alexander, who published the story, he said, man, people are talking about this book. And I kind of want to publish it because I had sent him another book. I sent him Chasing It. And he's like, dude, this is kind of wild. I don't want to do that one. That was a transgender piece. But he was like, you've got One Dead Preacher. So what happened is a famous agent, Marie Brown, had read it. And she wrote me this wonderful letter. And she referred me to an agent. The lady actually became my agent for a while. And that, but the agent that handled One Dead Preacher came to Kwame. And Audra Barrett of Barrett Books. She handled that. And that book came to her, and she did a lot for my career. So she got that done, got me she handled the deal with Kwame. She handled the deal with Carl Weber. She handled the deal with Black Expressions. So she was very instrumental in me becoming known, basically. So that was my go moment. I was unemployed, and the lady said, write a mystery, and I wrote a mystery, and boom, we did. I went at it. I went at it with a vengeance. And so I've been going at it ever since.
I want to say, Toni, you have such a wide library. But first I want to say, I just hope that you don't add to your One Dead series, like One Dead show host. We don't want that circulating among the literary world.
No, we don't want that.
No, we don't want. I mean, a lawyer, a doctor, activist, that's fine, but no talk show. With that being said, you have such a wide variety in your book library. But what does literary success actually look like to you?
So Mercedes has a new US, right? And I'm able to purchase that car, that would look like literary success to me. That's on the materialistic part of it. Non-materialistic is having people talk about me. It's having people invite me to events. It's having writers email me. I'm part of a book club called Perspectivists. I love that meeting. We meet once a month, and it's writers. It's serious writers. All right, it's probably the oldest Chicago writers group. There's some argument from other groups, but we know we're the oldest and the most established.
That was shade. Mhm.
Yeah.
You were
So,
serious writers. You know, some writers aren't as serious about their craft as others.
oh no, this group is serious. We've got Obi, we've got Paris, we've got it's just a serious group. I forgot the question.
What does literary success look like to you?
Okay. So recognition from that group is important, right? Being part of an established chain of writers, right? I got invited tomorrow. I'm doing something at the DeSable. Me and a bunch of other Chicago writers. We're going to be at the DeSable Museum of African Literature. That's literary success, right? Just being there to me is a good thing. Getting published by Third World Press is literary success. That's the press that published Gwendolyn Brooks. I keep my booty say publish me. But that's literary success. Being on this show is literary success. Meeting new readers is literary success. And being able to always be working on something. And I edit, so I'm always helping other people. So there's a lot of things that I enjoy about the craft. And, I'm very thankful to my higher power, to God, for allowing me to do this. Everybody can't live off of their art. I have to teach also, and my wife works. So there's a lot of good things going on that allow this literary life. So, but it is a life of literature. I read, I write, and I edit. So my life is filled with prose, and that's a blessing. I know that.
Absolutely. It's so funny you said that. I was just telling somebody, I was like, I'm a reader. I love books. I love the words. It's just like my mental stimulation. But the art of writing is kind of something that not only gives you heart palpitations, but it kind of gives you butterflies at the same time. It allows you to challenge yourself. It allows you to challenge the people around you. Now, you mentioned your wife. That's like a real teamwork type experience. What's the most important thing in your support system that you felt was really something that helps set your foundation so that you can write in peace and pursue what you enjoy?
My wife does understand that I'm a writer. She likes to say this Erykah Badu quote: "I'm an artist and I'm sensitive about my shit." Says that applies to me. She's like, I don't even ask to read this book because I wait till other people have read it. So definitely her understanding that. What is pivotal is knowing that I am a writer, right? I had to educate some insecurities away. I had to seek education to decrease some insecurities I did have as a writer, because when One Dead Preacher came out, it got a lot of acclaim. It was actually number one on Amazon in Chicago for a while. It broke through papers, Tribune, Chicago Reader. And that had a lot to do with the story, but also how Kwame Alexander, he was a publisher then, but now he's a young adult Newbery award-winning author, how he marketed it, right? He had me, the first place I signed books was at Howard.
That's right.
So that was outstanding, and he did things. His father had been in publishing, so he knew some things to do to get a book out there. And so for a premier book, I was hitting it, so that was a monumental moment for me. And others, when I got with Urban Books, Carl took me to a whole different level, right? Exposure, book tours. So that was different. And then Third World Press, you know, just that legacy of being at that press. The press that I'm with now, Prosperity, also good. Um, Golden Butterfly. Um, um, wow, I can't even. I've just been with.
Well, you've been writing for 20 years. I can imagine you. A lot of authors don't understand that you don't have to write for just one publisher. You can write for many publishers, just depending on whatever is in that contract. And so, just the fact that you can say, okay, let me think of all the publishers that I write for or I have written for, you know, that is a jewel all in itself. What is that process like for you with different expectations coming from different publishers?
It's cool. Currently, like with Golden Butterfly, that's the young adult publisher, and I am Prosperity did Acorns in the Skillet, but I am. Hold on for 1 second, and that I'm sorry, but I have to go because my mind is. I just want to run and get this book. I'll be.
Go ahead and get it.
Is that okay?
You sure can. You sure can.
Okay, I'll be right back.
All right.
But Lish, he has so much that he, that he has provided and given to the literary world. Like you said, he's dropping jewels, and it goes back to that season of 20. He has 20 years of being a seasoned writer, and not just a writer, but an author. So.
And the passion, like literally you can see like, nope, because this book right here is on my spirit. You can see the passion that he has for what he does.
Exactly.
And I think that's very important for authors. It's okay to just write a book. It's okay to just write one, but you gotta have a passion for what you're doing, to do it continuously and to make a career out of it. Right. Be sorry, Toni. Go ahead.
That's okay. And I have to apologize to Obi and Larry Redmond. It was my brain; it just complete blank. But it's Penknife Press, and they have done One Dead Doctor, More Boy Than Girl, Fat from Papa's Head. I've done 3 books with them, and this press has been probably instrumental because when I was mad at larger publishers, I met Obi at an African festival. And he was like, well, dude, we're a Chicago press and we're right here. And he published me. And he did Fat from Papa's Head, which to me, that's probably a monumental Chicago piece because when I was, there was a school here called the Artie Home. It has a different, it used to be called the Artie Home. It's called something new now. I was there if you got in trouble or if you were in foster care, you were housed in this facility, and they asked me to come there and speak to students, and so I did that. But the book that I talked about, after I left, those students came to me and said, "Could you write something about us now?" And so I wrote this book, Fat from Papa's Head, where all the protagonists are young, are males, and I couldn't get a publisher, and he published that book. And so that to me was that was the beginning of our relationship, but it was good because it was a Chicago story written for Chicago students, and the book still sells today, which is pretty good. And I hope I didn't go too far off that.
Okay. No, not at all.
Well, because what we see in the literary world, authors love to write what they have passion for, but when you go and get published, especially when you go to a mid or a bigger publisher, you kind of got to write what they want, how they want it, and you tend to have to water down your pen if this is what you want to do, so by you saying, listen, I was frustrated, and it's 20 years later, I was frustrated. There was somebody that gave me a chance to be able to do what I wanted to do the way I wanted to do it. And you succeeded at it as well. That is like inspiring to so many.
Yeah, I don't, I've been very blessed in being able to write what I want. I wrote One Dead Preacher without a publisher. So when it got picked up, that was really good. More Boy Than Girl, again, It's the story of a woman who lives her life as a man, right, as a male, and she's a pimp. Father was the founder of one of Chicago's largest street gangs. So people weren't crazy about that book. Penknife Press picked it up and published it. It's a good seller now. When I say good seller, I go out to shows, right, and I have a table. On that table, there's certain books that, in fact, the books that I had the hardest time presenting to people are the books that sell off my table the fastest. I can never keep Fat from Papa's Head on the table. I can never keep More Boy Than Girl on the table. So, and Melody Knight is going pretty good too. She's starting to jump off the table too. So it's important. I try to do a lot of shows. I try to do a lot of events where people can see me, and that keeps my name known and talked about too.
But the other side of that is people they're not necessarily buying your books. They're buying your books, but they're really buying you. And when you meet an author, especially being a reader, and you go to an event and you meet an author, and that author is passionate about their story, they make you want to read it. The passion for your pen, the passion for your work, and your why is what draws people into you. It becomes like eye candy. Everybody loves some good eye candy. But a reader does too. And your author's personality is part of the thing that sells the book. Yes, the cover sells it. So the cover has to be clean and crisp to draw them in. Synopsis got to be on point to draw them in. However, the author is the icing on the cake. They're why when you meet them, when you go to the event, are they still sitting down, or do they get up excited about what they're doing? That draws you in and makes you want to not only support them, but read their books. And then their pen and their content is what holds you. Now you have a long-time reader. They're like, listen, I just met him at this event, but this book right here, I read it. I passed it on to my auntie, my cousin. Now they're passing the book around, and that creates the word of mouth that you need. Allow your book to have legs beyond what you do. I'm sorry,
That's exactly what happens.
No, I was going to say that, and that's how a book develops legs. That's what we talk about a lot about that here on the show. But also, Toni, you mentioned some of the characters in your various books. Do you find that you come across any challenges writing a woman character from a perspective and making it as authentic as possible? Sometimes it's a little hard writing a woman's character if you're a male author, and vice versa. What challenges, if any, have you come across in that scenario?
When I think about the characters, I think about them as people. So I just write what they say. And so that kind of stops me from, I don't sit back and say, oh man, what would a woman say? I say, no, what would Melody Knight say? So I accept this character, not necessarily the fact that they are a woman or a man, and that makes it easier for me. So once I am in that character's psyche, I know what they believe. Like when I would teach it, I would say that you need to know, is your character wearing thongs or boxer briefs? If you don't know that about your character, you don't know, do they like scrambled eggs or sunny side up eggs? So if you don't know that, then and so since I know that about my characters, I don't consider that it doesn't become a problem in regards to gender. Now I could think back something that I wish I would have done differently when I wrote Chasing It, per se. I was gonna say she, because this is the one where it's a man living as a woman. I was gonna say she, but I got a lot of static from that, and I went on and did it. But it was a long time ago. It was probably one of the first books, if not the first book, with a parental advisory sticker on there. And I now in 2018, I wish I would have stuck with my guns and put the she in there.
But do you interview? Interview may not be the right word, but do you know all your characters' quirks before writing, or do they kind of sneak up on you as you're writing? Like whether they like scrambled eggs or sunny
Yeah,
side.
yeah, it
So
happens.
all this before.
No, it's both ways. Because sometimes if I'm thinking, like right now, um, um, a repeat character is easy, right? But there's a book that's also forming in my mind right now about a voodoo priest, right? But he doesn't know he was a voodoo priest. He doesn't know that he was born into this royalty. They're coming at him a little bit at a time. And so
Mhm.
since he's developing in my mind, there are things that I'm learning, but I haven't started writing them yet.
Mhm.
There's no writing of this. I haven't wrote a word. Well,
Okay.
maybe a word, maybe a sentence, but
Mhm.
I don't. I mean, so I'm seeing him.
Mhm.
He's developing now, right?
Mhm.
So, but
Interesting.
then
I
once I
get
start,
that.
Mhm.
Mhm.
I honestly, I get that. I get that. And we've took classes with the fabulous Victoria Christopher Murray. We've been
No,
kicked
I
out
know
of
her.
them. We can no longer take her classes.
Really?
We feel a way about that. But
You say we
she
can't learn
say
anything more. So
it's nothing else we can learn more. But she would talk about doing like a rundown, making sure that know your character, because
Right.
I think that it makes it easier to maneuver them on the paper when you know them and how they are.
Right.
I like to use astrology, so um I'll give them a sign like an Aries, and so that way I know some of the off the wall things that they do, some of the calm things that they do. So it just helps me to guide them along, and it
Yeah.
allows you to create craziness. At the I think it allows you to create the craziness, but you
Especially
got
them
to know
Aries.
Right. Well, conflict.
we're not crazy. But it allows you, I mean, knowing if they like boxers or briefs, that attests to a person's confidence. Some
Right.
men are not confident enough to wear like that, the boxer briefs or box like that is just part of their psyche. And
Right.
so
Mhm.
allowing to go that deep into the character, you're saying that allows you to move across the board no matter if they're a male or female. It just makes it easier to shape them for the
Mhm.
reader.
Right.
Mhm.
Right. It's not a gender thing. It's the character.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
And that gives
So
it authenticity as well.
that's right.
Mhm.
Mhm. Yeah.
Now, you've been in the industry for 20 years. You've
20
written
plus.
books.
Yeah.
20 plus years you've written books, you've met people, you've shaked hands, you've interacted. I call it being on the campaign trail. You've been on the campaign trail doing events. If there were three things in the industry, if you had the power to change, what would they be?
Oh wow. Um, to change. Um, market exposure, right? I
Mm-hmm.
don't think it should be just limited um to like but then it probably wouldn't be Random House wouldn't stand out as a premier publisher if they hadn't done the things that they wanted to do, right? But I wish market share was just a little bit more equitable. I wish that my I'm sorry. I wish that my small and mid-sized publishers could get more market share. But I mean, that's just the nature of competitiveness in American society. These publishers have done the things that they needed to do to
Mhm.
become where they are. You know,
Mm-hmm.
so I respect that. So I don't know if that's really a wish or not. Um, but access, I would definitely do something with access. I'm
Mhm.
not sure what. I would probably um, do something with book to films too. I would I would maybe make that more accessible or more merit based.
Mhm.
Yeah, that would probably be what I would do. I would make things merit based, where there's some type of thing where people can look at it and say, "Wow, well, it didn't come through this sin, but this is good." So I would make things so that good literature could break through without it being. It has to come from somebody who is connected to the industry.
Mm-hmm.
I would like it to be. If I could somehow make it merit based, where a good story can get through, I would. That's what I would do.
Absolutely. And it's funny that you said that. I had a meeting with a publisher, just talking and shooting shit.
Mhm.
And it's a big publisher, but a lot of times they take time out. And their acquisitions editors, they will talk to us, and
Mhm.
'cause I'm a literary agent as well. And a lot of things that my thing is, a lot of times as Black authors or African American authors, we have our own stories that we want to write. And a lot of times the frustration to put it into mainstream comes along because a lot of times they don't understand the things that we write about and why we write about them, and they
Mhm.
need it to be a certain way. And
Right.
so just talking to her and understanding that they're starting to open up to that, because they're seeing that the things that we write about and our life experience is different from other races. So they are starting slowly but surely. I think it should be already there. I don't think it should
Well,
be such a struggle. But they're starting to see that our stories and the way we write them are different because we're different. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
right. But there are so there was times, there's a couple of publishers who were published, a couple of writers who were published right after slavery, right? One, Phyllis Wheatley, who was published during slavery, right? Um, um, the other people who came after. So there have been, then there was the Harlem Renaissance, right? Then there was the
Yeah.
Black arts movements. Then there
Yeah.
was what I like to call the post-Terry McMillan era. So there have been times when the industry says, "Oh, we need to pay attention to these Black people. They're
Uh-huh.
already doing some stuff, and
Mhm.
that's really really cool, you know. But it's also cool when like Gwendolyn Brooks won the Pulitzer, right? Terry McMillan won the National Book Award, and the other one, not the Newbery. What's the
The new guy. He just got. I posted it on my page.
right? But see, those are cool moments too. So the industry knows that we're here and what we do,
Mhm.
but like maybe it goes in cycles. I don't know. Um, all I do is just continue to push and keep pushing, and that's all. I think that's all we can do. Is we
Absolutely.
have to just keep pushing. Yeah.
That's right.
And I think that the change of the name Sorry T is different as well, because people think that street lit is something that's new. Cordelia the Crude would probably have been the first street lit type Renaissance type novel, that had been written, but
Mhm.
it's just taken different names and different shapes based
Mhm.
on whatever society is going through at that time.
Stephen Carter wrote one. Somebody, what was it? Dorothy, a Girl in the Streets, or something like that. And that was a white guy. I can't think of the book, but what's her name's book? The Street, Ann Petrie.
Mhm.
Mhm.
What's his name? He wrote the book about Newark, Howard Street.
Okay.
So I mean, street lit. Dean Farr, SRO. Come on. I mean, so it's nothing new about the genre. Um,
Mhm.
what and it's always has been street lit authors have always managed to break through, just like
That's
mystery
right.
authors. Or I should say genre authors. Period.
Mhm.
Always seem to manage to break through and survive. Just the Hines. So and hopefully we can survive without leaving the country. I don't want to be an expatriate, although some expatriates are doing quite well now. So
But it's also interesting how they label the genres that we like ourselves, whether it's want to say it's street lit or urban or whatever. Sometimes the outside world want to label what our authors write and what we read. So I tend to find that quite a bit. But I want to ask you, Tony, what's next for you?
um, as far as writing, or
Yes.
okay, I've got I'm currently finishing up One Dead Activist. And it was originally titled One Dead Race Man, but that is so period orientated. And I'm thinking the One Dead Activist title is probably the better piece. And then I've got the voodoo piece in the back of my mind, and I also have the Straight Twisted erotica collection. So,
Okay.
and I also have I may have a piece coming out with a new publisher called Married Women,
Ooh, okay.
a novella, and then that's with a publisher that's only done like 2 or 3 books, and they're considering doing this one. So if that happens, I'll let you guys know.
Absolutely. And I know you've worked with Carl before, and he's really into movies. So are there any of your books that are going to adapt into movies?
I don't know. I'm always open to that. That could be a way to that EQS, that bends. So I don't know. I've done books with Carl. I'm not I'm not on Carl's movie list things. I just don't know those things. I tried to get One Dead Preacher into a movie, so I wrote the script. We marketed it, so it's still out there trying to be sold. So if it gets picked up, I'll let you know.
Awesome. Okay, sounds good. Please keep us informed, because it's just so interesting, the journey you've taken and the journey you're on as well. So keep us informed, please.
No problems. I will definitely.
Now, here on Let's Chat, we like to do a fun question. Toni takes care of that. That's not part of my department, so I don't know what she's gonna ask you. I'm just here for the optics. But go ahead, T.
Okay. Thank you once again for joining us. It's always a joy when you come on, and as you know, now this is your home. You had us on both of our platforms, so we want to thank you for joining us, because time is precious, and you seem to have a lot going on with your time. But your fun question this evening is, I want to ask you, you've been selected to star in a movie, and you get to pick your leading sidekick character. Now, out of all of your books that you've written, who would be your sidekick to star in this new superhero movie?
Oh, that's a good one, T.
Wow. I would like to have Melody Knight there, the vampire, because she's powerful. I know David Price, that's probably the character I've written the most. But I think I'm going to hang out with Melody Knight.
All right.
Yeah, the power, I like her choices that she makes. And if it's a movie, man, she could vampire movie. It's a great movie. So, and I like the fact that there's other vampires that she could probably introduce me to. Well, and she could probably stop me from getting bit.
Right.
Go one step further and say name the movie.
Say again.
Can we go one step further and say name the movie with you and Melanie?
Oh, what would the movie? I don't know. Melody Night 2.
I think that would be a good movie, because they are taking vampire movies and they are changing them up a bit. And I read Dogs by Saeed Salam, and that was werewolves.
Okay.
So it put me in the mind of Twilight a little bit, but with the urban twist to it.
Okay.
So Melanie Knight, I mean, she kicking butt. She like CIA. She's covert, and she'll bite you. I like that.
Watch out. That was a good question, Lissha.
That was a good question, T. We so appreciate you coming to kick it here with us in Let's Chat Live Land.
Thanks for having me.
You are so very welcome. You are welcome back anytime. I want you to shout out all of your social media where everyone can get your latest book and any events that you have coming up.
Okay. Tomorrow I'm going to be at DuSable Museum in Chicago. You can get the books on Amazon or at the AALBC. I have books there as well. The African American Literary Book Club. You can get Melody Knight there, or you can get her off Amazon. DuSable, and hopefully in April I'll be hanging out in Atlanta with y'all.
Vision and Books.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to doing that. And that's all I have right now that I could think of.
Awesome. Well, once again, thank you so much, Toni, for joining Lissha and I. We so appreciate you and everything you contribute to the literary world.
Thanks so much.
We thank you. We thank you for your passion. We thank you for your vision, and you're welcome back anytime.
No worries. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Good night.
Bye, you too.
It's always great
It's
talking
always
with you,
great.
ladies.
Absolutely. Yes. Vision and Books 2022. This will be my third book event. I'm excited because it's on my birthday. But it's a little bit different. The first one was just the eat and greet, and then the second one was just a book event. So now I'm merging it together. We're doing a little bit of both, and I'm adding community assets. And what a community asset is are those businesses or companies or nonprofits in the community that are for the community. And a lot of times we don't know. They're moving around, but we don't know who they are because people don't really spot them out. So we're doing Ladies in the Caddy, which does the he comedy expo, a health event, and then we're doing Girls Who Brunch, which is really good with the youth, young ladies in the community. So that's going to be our two community assets. So we're going to do a karaoke bash. That's going to be, well, I don't know, because the Covitical is giving me hives. I'm just saying. Covitical is giving me hives, so I'm trying to do that on the first, but I might have to mash it all together and just do everything on the second. But yeah, the karaoke bash is to give support and spotlight those individual companies, nonprofits that are into the community and doing for the community. I think the karaoke bash is going to be my new thing. So we were going to do teachers. Last year we did support a teacher. We supported her classroom. You guys came out. You showed up. She had papers, pencils, books, like everything that classroom could ask for. But this year, because a lot of some schools are going back to being back where the kids are at home, and I'm thinking about just doing maybe closer to the school year a karaoke bash for a teacher, something like that. Just change it up a bit. So for this year, we're going to focus on our community assets.
Okay, we know it's going to be fabulous because it has Lissha's thumbprint on it. So we want to thank everybody that supports everything that we do here, both with Let's Chat Live, and all of our individual projects as well. So we want to thank you so much for the support.
Absolutely. Y'all know Toni is a hardcore editor. Like, she be turning big folk down. So she got that hardcore red pen.
I'm
crazy. So proud to see. So I was trying to do an event, part of the event, like a writing workshop, like I did with the first event. And I wanted T to do an editing workshop. She was like, "You want me to do what?" I'm always asking T to do stuff, and she'd be like, "Lissha, you always asking me to do some brand new off the walls type stuff." But
I've never done before.
Yeah, but I think I'm gonna have to wait until the next one to be able to do the event, because my vision and what I want to do is too big right now for me to like condense it the way it needs to be condensed. So
okay, so I'm off the hook for April 2022.
I don't know. It might be. I don't know.
Y'all see, she constantly have me on my toes. She's not even giving me another year to get it under my belt.
Y'all, don't let her fool you. Y'all, listen. T edits, okay? She be doing it. She be turning down the folks, okay? She ain't no slouch with that pen. So
thank you, Lise.
Don't play with it. She got some knowledge to give. And I think of that, especially with writing, having a workshop geared towards editing. A lot of things that the editor does, some of those small, minute details are things that the author can do before you send the book in. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And a lot of authors are used to just sending in a book as is, but your editor is not there to write your book.
Right.
Just I'm like your agent, your literary agent. We have Regina on. She talked about I don't stay tethered to my desk. Literary agent is not there to write your book. Right. So authors have to have those skills. They need to have those skills to be able to properly set their book up to be fully published. and understand what that is and what it looks like. So we are definitely going to do a workshop on it. The workshop, just in my mind, the things that I wanted to target, I had the people, but it was like too big. I was like, we only got one day.
So y'all, I might be off the hook for 2023.
So, I had to change it up because it got too big. Like I had movies, films, nonprofit writing. I mean, listen, but it got too big. So, and I couldn't wrap my mind around how to condense it. A lot of times, when I'm doing my events, I do have to wrap my mind around how to condense them in a way, because we only have so many hours. So.
And that gives them something to look forward to the next one, Leash. You may not be able to do everything, but you just break it up the way you're doing. And so, well, this next year we'll be doing this. And the next year after that, we'll be doing that. And you just bring it all together and make it, what it is that you do, which is, supporting the literary world and those within it.
Absolutely. Vision and Books is going to end up being a book conference where it's going to be more than one day. We're going to have more than just the book expo and the eat and read. It's going to be like a week event, like in my mind down the line, where we have, classes and different things, because there's so many things I think authors need to know. And not even that, understanding how to relax, because sometimes your mind doesn't cut off and you're always thinking.
Right.
And, all of those things, having helpful tips and eating. And, sometimes you're working and you don't necessarily eat like you're supposed to. And so I want to be able to incorporate and touch on all of that. So eventually it's going to be a large conference. But right now I'm trying to keep it to where it does what it needs to do for the time. And so I'm excited. We got some things going on next year. So I appreciate you guys. We got some fabulous authors that are going to be part of that event. I got the flyers up, but we got Nicola Mitchell.
Joel and Ross, you got.
We have E and Joy. We have Anika Michelle, author Larry Smith, author Piper Hughley. I love Piper. Y'all got to read her Sweet Tea. I listened to Sweet Tea. That book is awesome. Y'all got to read it, though. Y'all got to read it. We have author S.F. Hardy, who is a children's author. Tasha DeMay, Blake Carrington, Anna Black, Kenny York. I mean, y'all, the
list goes on and on.
Sean Sinclair, Silk White. Like, I appreciate all of them, and I think it's 17 of them. I might be leaving somebody off, but I appreciate them. I appreciate them, because whenever I call, no matter what it is, they come, and it's whatever you need. So I appreciate all of my author friends in my Rolodex. So it's going to be everyone. Yes. So this is it for Let's Chat Live on today. We will see you guys on next week. We'll have music legend Larry Dotson from the Barcades, and just being able to research, because before we have guests, especially like that, we have to research just to kind of understand. And like, oh my God, that's going to be such a fabulous show. I'm excited because he is going to be able not only give us a music history lesson, but like we're going to go back to just understanding like his whole journey. I mean, it's fabulous. It's fabulous. So we will see you guys next week on that. And I know we have Shirley Murdoch as well coming up, and cross fingers, we got one more that I'm trying to get as well. And then shout out to School Yonder. He's going to be in Atlanta soon, and so we appreciate him. We appreciate his whole camp, always looking out for us. Y'all, we got so much going on. I appreciate y'all. I know T appreciates y'all. Y'all keep rocking with us. It's going to be some few new things that we're going to be doing in 2022. But we're going to see y'all next week.
Enjoy your weekend. Stay safe, guys.
Good night.
Good night.